Dear students, welcome to the next video of the course Issues in Pakistan Economy. We are discussing Module 3, which is about the industrial sector of Pakistan, and we had so far discussed in different videos the process of industrialization in the country and what were different time period trends and what were the manufacturing sector growth rates in different time periods and the analysis of different industrial policies in different time periods. Finally, we have reached to the last topic of the module 3, which is key issues in Pakistan's industrial sector. I had divided the issues in different areas, so I have listed down few areas of issues we'll discuss briefly in this last topic. The first one is trends in industrial sector of Pakistan. First of all, we'll discuss different trends in different time periods of Pakistan's industrial sector. That what were the growth rates in different time periods, what were the policy measures in different time periods, and the second we'll discuss the small scale manufacturing sector. There is a large scale manufacturing and small scale manufacturing, so we'll discuss the small scale manufacturing sector of Pakistan and the issues of small scale manufacturing sector. Then we'll discuss the textile industry, which dominates the industrial sector of Pakistan and used to have the strong and dominant contribution towards the exports and the industrial contribution towards the GDP. Then we'll discuss the public sector industry, those industries and enterprises which used to have the public ownership. Then we'll discuss the privatization process. This privatization process done in different eras used to have the critical and political backgrounds. So we'll discuss the issues with the process of industrialization, and finally we'll discuss the hot and burning issue of the time, which is badly affecting the industrialization in Pakistan, that is energy crisis. So we'll start with the first one, trends in industrial sector. So what were different trends in industrial sector in different time periods? In the beginning, at the time of independence, we had discussed already that there was no industrial base. So government of the time had to focus over the industrial development and capital formation in the country. So 1950s was the first time period or first era, and this first era witnessed extraordinary industrial growth rate. And then come 1960s time period. 1960 was the time period when large scale manufacturing sector of Pakistan had shown exceptional growth. So immediately after the independence, the first two eras, 50s and 60s, had seen a remarkable growth in the industrial development in the country. Or we also can see that manufacturing sector growth rate was exceptional among all the other developing countries of the world as well in that time period, and Pakistan's economy was considered as a role model for other developing economies on the basis of industrial development. Then comes 1970s time period. 1970 was a time period in which the major change in industrial sector was the process of nationalization, and there were other factors as well. So we had seen substantial reduction in the industrial growth. Then come 1980s time period, which is again the revival of manufacturing sector, and on the whole the 1980s time period had seen impressive average growth of the manufacturing sector. Then come 1990s. 1990s again is the time period when industrial growth in Pakistan was deteriorated, and we had seen reduction in the industrial growth rate. And comes 2000 time period when our industry again revived, and we had seen revival after 9/11 due to various external factors. So if we analyze this trend, we'll come across with the fact that Pakistan's industrial and manufacturing sector used to see the roller coaster variation in its growth. Sometimes we had seen the industrial growth is remarkable, and there were times when we had seen the industrial sector shown negative growth. And this shows that there is complete volatility in the growth rate of the industrial sector, and we could not sustain impressive growth rate for a longer time period. Then there is an interesting fact is the population all this time increases. In population gets double in between 1970s till 1990, and the number of employed in the manufacturing sector did not increase much, rather it was less than half. And the reason behind is that large scale manufacturing increases in Pakistan, and that used to be capital intensive. It is the small scale sector which has more potential towards employment. So small scale sector in Pakistan grew in 1980s, and that was the sector which captured increase in the labor force. Now second is small scale manufacturing sector. Now small scale manufacturing sector used to play a very important and critical role in the economies, in the different developing economies, particularly in the economy of Pakistan as well. As I have already said, that in Pakistan, small scale industrial sector grew in 1980s. And if we look at the manufacturing units, there were more than 98% manufacturing units are unregistered small scale firms. And this is the small scale sector which has more employment elasticity amongst all of the other sectors of the economy. So in the last 20 years, Pakistan's small scale sector had played very important role in the manufacturing sector or manufacturing industry. First and foremost is the thought that initially, as Pakistan was lacking industry, so government focused over the capital formation and industrial development, and the state policy or the government policy used to be very much biased in favor of large scale manufacturing sector. And in this context, small scale sector was neglected, or it was not treated well. State or government never played a real role in explicitly promoting the small scale sector. Rather, their focus or their special privilege was for only large scale manufacturing sector or large scale enterprises. Small scale manufacturing sector or small scale manufacturers used to have financial constraints for further growth and development, and that financial constraint was not addressed as the banking sector or financial institutions of the country. They were also helpful for the large scale manufacturing or the big industries, and they were unhelpful and discouraging to the small scale informal manufacturing units. And finally, the privileges or the utilities provided by the government to promote the large scale manufacturing sector, and the small scale sector in this context was also treated with the hands-off policy. That means that they were not given those benefits which were enjoyed by the large scale manufacturing sector of Pakistan, and which could be very much helpful for growth and development of small scale sector in the Pakistan. So that was the time period before 1980s, and the later on in the late 1990s and in the more recent years, it has been realized by the government, and the government is now promoting small and medium enterprises by offering them loans and providing them various kinds of support. So government finally realized, and now we have also focused by the government or the policies of the government in favor of small scale manufacturing sector as well, or unregistered small scale enterprises as well. This is all about this video, in which we had discussed only two areas of critical issues or key issues of industrial sector of Pakistan. The rest of the issues we'll discuss in the next video.